Would like to call to order the Thursday, January 8th, 2026 Concord City Council meeting. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have everyone with us tonight. If you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First up is the approval of the minutes, and I think we have 4 sets here from November 25th, December 9th, December 11th, and December 16th. Do I hear a motion? Motion to approve. Is there a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We do have one item that we need to add to the agenda tonight, and that is our proclamation for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. At this time, I would entertain a motion to add that to the agenda. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And that takes us into presentations. And first up will be the proclamation, which I will read to you now. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired millions of Americans by becoming a visionary leader of the civil rights movement with the goal of creating a society tolerant of all races, cultures, and nationalities. And whereas Dr. King's enduring contributions to America remind us that people should not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And whereas the ideals of Dr. King and Concord's commitment to human rights are worthy of reflection and serve as a reminder that improving the quality of life for all members of our community is a responsibility of every citizen. And whereas the celebration of Dr. King's birthday is intended to honor an American who dedicated his life to the fundamental principles of freedom, opportunity, and equal justice for all. Now, therefore, Stephen M. Morris, Mayor and the City Council of the City of Concord, do hereby encourage all citizens to rededicate themselves to the principles of respect for human rights and freedom, of belief in nonviolence, and of commitment to improving our community on January 19th, 2026, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Thank you very much. And Betty, I know that you have been very involved in the committee to commemorate Dr. King's birthday. Are there any announcements of dates or activities you'd like to share with folks?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. There's quite a few events that will be taking place. The first one will be on Thursday, the 15th, at Grace Lutheran Church. It will be the wreath laying ceremony, followed by the banquet on that Friday, the 16th at 6 p.m. at the Laureate Center in Kannapolis. You can go online and type in MLK Cabarrus and purchase tickets. And then there will be a parade in Dream Day on that Monday, the 19th, in Kannapolis at the Laureate Center as well. And I would just like to thank all of the committee members. If I believe there's some here, if you will please stand.
Great.
Mayor, do you want to give them the proclamation?
That would be Yes, I would be happy to do that.
Pastor Anthony and Jamin, if you all could come up and receive the proclamation.
Sorry for depriving you. Here is the proclamation, as we heard earlier, and certainly appreciate your efforts in working on this and encourage you to make any comments that you would like to add.
Well, I would just Alderman Stocks and the entire council for your support and the community as well. We look forward again to having a good opportunity to serve with one another and our community. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. Okay, next we have a presentation of a retirement plaque to Sergeant Philip Carlton. If he would come forward at this time. How are you, sir? Good, good. Congratulations. A few words about Sergeant Carlton. Sergeant Philip Carlton has been a proud resident of Cabarrus County since 1978. A 1992 graduate of Mount Pleasant High School, he earned his associate's degree from Central Piedmont Community College, laying the foundation for a long and distinguished career in law enforcement. He began his service with the Concord Police Department on January 12, 1998, first assigned to B Squad Patrol. He served as an officer, master police officer, and field training officer, and in 2003 received the MAD, and you may have to tell me what that, we could do different interpretations of MAD.
It's the Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Excellent. He received that Officer of the Year award. In 2006, he was promoted to sergeant. Since then, he has served as a patrol sergeant in every district and played a key role in the pilot program that established the department's permanent shift structure. His leadership has extended to specialty units, including criminal investigations, support services, and community outreach and education. His commitment to readiness and community safety is reflected in his involvement with the CPD dive team, SWAT, and his work as a community liaison. He has earned numerous certifications and recognition, including his advanced law enforcement certification, traffic crash investigation and enforcement certification, completion of the Law Enforcement Management Program at RCCC, and the FBI LEDA Trilogy Award. Outside of law enforcement, he's devoted to his family. He has been married to his wife, Cindy, for 27 years, and they have 2 sons, Kyle and Garrett. He enjoys traveling, spending time with family, and playing cornhole. Maybe you could teach me to be a little bit more proficient at that. He is also an accomplished high school wrestling official and has been selected multiple times to officiate the North Carolina High School State Championships. Yes. Congratulations to you. After learning everything that you are certified in and what you've done, I don't see how we can let you go. But I'm sure that is different from the plan, but hopefully you will introduce folks that you might have with you here tonight and ask them to stand as well.
I have my mother with me. She's in the back. Unfortunately, my wife is in Houston right now. She just a trip she couldn't avoid. And my oldest son he's just starting out his career and my youngest he's the same thing. They're just both, Dad, we can't, and they'll be for the retirement party. So that's
those are things to be proud of as well.
They're working hard too. They're starting their careers and going. So, it's been a great career. Law enforcement's changed a lot, some good, some bad, but it's been something I've dedicated my life to. Sorry.
Great, understand. Yeah, so let me read this plaque to you. This is presented to Philip Martin Carlton in recognition of over 28 years of faithful, loyal, and dedicated service to the City of Concord Police Department, dated February 1st, 2026. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah, you hold that so he can get it on the picture. Great. Thank you very much and best wishes. Yes, and yes. Okay, and at our work session on Tuesday night, we recognized Mark Rosie Kane for over 30 years of service, as well as Keith Cooter Carricker for over 31 years of service. So congratulations go out to them as well. We covered our independent auditor's report on Tuesday night. And so we move now to departmental reports, and happy to hear from Parks and Recreation Bond update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm calling on Sheila, our Parks and Recreation Director, to come up and give the monthly report to council on our projects.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Jenkins. Tonight, I'll provide the bond update for January. We have an update to our financial information. We had an increase in investment earnings, which increased our available fund balance to a little over $1.7 million. Projects that are completed, we have a total of 2 that are completed: the McGinnis Aquatic Center and Dorton Park. Projects that are currently under construction. We have 3 projects that are currently under construction. First is Marvin Caldwell Park. Construction continues for this bond project. The picture to the top right, you can see is the clear span has been installed. That is for the covered basketball courts. The bottom right, you can see the forming of the splash pad, and you will notice that the plumbing installation has started. The building to the left is the new amphitheater, the Robert Mathis Amphitheater, and you can see the new band shell that is installed over the new amphitheater. The top left is the new restroom building, and if you notice the arch, that is the cover that will be between the 2 buildings, and it will mirror the band shell for the amphitheater. Next is J.E. Jim Ramsor Park. The main line sewer has been completed for this project. Currently, to date, we have over 52,000 cubic yards of fill that has been brought into the site to help level and raise the site for the next construction development for this project. The next thing I'd like, the underground detention cells have been delivered to the site. And if you notice the picture on the bottom left, you can see the cells. This is the underwater detention system that will be installed under the parking lot. It has been delivered. And I just want to kind of give you an idea of the size of that. If you notice the Connex, next to it, you can kind of see the size of those sails that will go in under the parking lot. Next is the Academy Gibson Athletic Fields. Construction continues on this project. They are adding and working on the sub-base and drainage for the turf field. The picture in the top left, you can see where they're working on the drainage for the turf field. Renovations to the existing buildings at McAllister, Webb, and Gibson are still underway. And we are also, the bottom left picture, you can see where they're beginning to install footers and outline of the new storage building for this site. Next projects, we have a total of, the next project which will come to council will be the next project that is out for construction, and that will be the Dave Phillips Park. We are finalizing permitting at this point or now. Next step will be completion of the bid documents, and our plan is to have this project out to bid by February. This will be the next project brought to council for construction approval for the contract. Projects in design, we have a total of 5 projects that are in design. First is the Academy Gibson Skate Park Pump Track Sculpture Garden. This project, we are finalizing design. This should be the next project that is brought to council for final design approval for us to move to the next step, which will be permitting and getting ready for bidding. Poplar Tent Trailhead Park, this design is internal, and we continue with design for this project. Engineering has submitted the grading plan for the parking lot to Duke Energy for approval. Next is Hartzell Park. We continue design for this project. The picture in the bottom right is the installation of the new prefab restroom building that is on this site to replace the one that burned. Currently, we are waiting on the CO from the county. Once that is received, we will open this to the public. Wilson Street Park, again, this project is also being designed internally. We have completed the tree inventory for this site. Next will be some tree removal for this site based on the tree inventory and our city arborist and his inspection of the trees that are need to be removed. Once those are removed, then we will go back and look at the site plan to continue to identify the location of amenities. Next is WW Flow Park. We continue to work with the firm McAdams, who will be the design firm for this project. We continue to work on the scope for that design. Once that's completed, we'll be able to bring that back to council for final design approval to move forward with design for this project. Also tonight on council's consent agenda is the request for 2 grant applications that will also be a part of this bond project. And that's the PARTIF, Park and Recreation Trust Fund grant, and the LWCF, which is the Land Water Conservation Fund. Our last project for design is the Academy Recreation Center, and we hope to begin design for this project in FY27. Timeline. There has been an adjustment to the timeline for total of 6 projects. 5 that have been moved out 1 to 7 months, and that's based on the design schedule and being prepared for bidding and internal construction administration. And 1 project actually has been moved up 2 months because of where we land as far as construction and design. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Questions for Sheila? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we now move to our public comment portion of the meeting. Would like to read the statement explaining that initially. This portion of our meeting is our time to recognize persons requesting to be heard and provides an opportunity for anyone wishing to address the city council to do so. Each person will receive 3 minutes to address the council. This is a time of listening for the council. The subject will be noted, and if it requires action or a request, the city manager will note as such and provide steps for any required response or after action. We ask that everybody leave their contact information with the city clerk in order to facilitate communication. And we have 3 people that have signed up to speak tonight, and our first speaker is Deborah Spear.
Hi again. I own a business on Market Street, as you all know, and I'm still trying to get the signage ordinance changed so that those of us on Market Street can have a sign on Union Street. Our businesses are dying. Market Street and Spring Street feel like we are stuck in the worst HOA in the world. There are banners and signs out there for other businesses that are breaking the ordinance rules, but they remain there. Heaven forbid, my sign should be a foot off my building and code enforcement is down there within minutes. I have a dumpster next to my building, and according to code enforcement, they don't even know who it belongs to. It's constantly got garbage around it. Lori has seen it. I'm out there all the time sweeping, cleaning. It smells. I've been told that it was going to be moved across the street at the end of October. It's past the end of October. It's still there. People come down the walkway. I watch them. They do this to see where businesses are, because there's a sign that says more businesses, and they don't see one because the dumpster's there. Half the time it's on the sidewalk. Today it got moved off the sidewalk. I don't understand how there can be a dumpster there and nobody knows who it belongs to. Somebody's paying for it. I have brought this up before where somebody is letting their dog poop on the walkway. This happened at the Art Walk, and then it happened again when we had Small Business Saturday. Ashlyn from Market 94 and I both called the city and said someone needs to come and clean this. The response was, I had to go and clean it. I'm tired of cleaning up. I am tired of being the designated cleaning person down there. Ashlyn and I went out and tried to clean the poop. All we did was make it worse. I ended up putting up a giant sign that said, the city will not clean this. Please be careful. There's poop all over the walkway. Eventually somebody did come out because I put the sign up right in front of 3 officers and I said, call code enforcement. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to clean it. When there's poop out there, someone from the city should come and clean it. We just lost 2 more businesses. 2 more are talking about closing. I'm from Niagara Falls, New York. I would like everybody to go home tonight and Google a video about Niagara Falls so you can see what is going to happen to downtown Concord, because I lived through it. I lived through businesses moving out because there was no business, which is what's happening here. It's a ghost town. The businesses move out, the rent gets jacked up, people can't move in, and then it's going to look like Niagara Falls. It is terrible. And this is a cute little town. I have had businesses all over the country in cute little towns, and this has been the worst. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Keisha Sandage.
Good evening, everybody. I've spoken in many forums as such, but never at this one, so give me some grace. I'm raising a concern about the city's update to Personnel Policy 5.10. I'll say that again, 5.10, which allows city employees to run for or hold office on Cabarrus County School Board while restricting other positions in other offices like maybe Kannapolis or maybe another school board somewhere. And it seems very intentional and is the reason why that's a concern for me. My concern is not about the school board, though, but about the fairness and the legal risks that only carving out one ability to run for office, specific to whatever reason that might be, is very concerning and should be raising some eyebrows for each and every single one of you when it comes to encouraging our employees to engage in civic activities. Right now, every single last one of your employees can only run for school board here in Cabarrus County. What if they live in Kannapolis and want to be on that school board? What happens there? And can anybody tell me when this happened, why it happened, and if there's anything going to be done about changing that? I want you to know how discriminatory that looks. It looks like it was carved out for a specific individual and for a specific party. This is a nonpartisan board. This is a nonpartisan board. And you are telling your employees that they can only run for school board, and that just changed in 2023. I wonder why. I am hoping that after tonight, you guys will look into this policy, and if you want to be fair to your employees, be fair to allow for them to run for public office in all situations outside of this council. It is very inappropriate for a city worker to run for and be elected to serve on this town council. However, it is not inappropriate for them to serve on county commission, Kannapolis School Board, Rowan County School Board. Again, just really concerned about that and would love for some feedback as to how that happened, when it happened, and if there were specific reasons why that happened. And also make sure that our public is aware of what this council is making decisions off of. I'll say it again, that sounds very intentional and very purposeful to be beneficial for one person and one party. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Orlando Jacobs.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am speaking regarding agenda items 8 and 9, which authorize eminent domain for 2 parcels located in historic community. 145 Hemlock Street Southwest, valued at $45,000, and 75 Young Street Southwest, valued at $58,730, for a combined public acquisition cost of $95,730 for the stated purpose of affordable housing. In my opinion, and based on campaign messaging, near the election, newly elected Councilmember Alvarez Santana ran on a platform that emphasized housing that working families can actually afford and protecting long-term residents from being priced out as Concord grows. I want to raise a concern about how affordability will be ensured under current North Carolina law. North Carolina General Statute 42-14.1 prohibits cities and counties from enacting or enforcing rent caps or rent control. That means the city cannot legally limit future rent increases once housing is developed. Residents understand affordable housing to mean relief from high rents and long-term stability. Without permanent enforceable protections, affordability may be temporary, and these properties could eventually become market rate housing. When eminent domain is used, especially in a historic community, the public benefit must be clear and lasting. I respectfully ask the council to explain how affordability will be enforced, for how long, who enforces it, and what happens when any affordable period expires. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Great, thank you. Okay, that completes all the people that have signed up for open public comment tonight. Was there anyone that was missed? If not, we'll move on to our next item, which is we have several public hearings. The first public hearing is to conduct a public hearing to consider adopting a resolution on the matter of closing the right-of-way of 2 unopened areas at the intersection of Hermitage Drive Southeast and Winfield Boulevard Southeast. The proposal includes the abandonment of the right-of-way of 2 unopened areas at the intersection of Hermitage Drive Southeast and Winfield Boulevard Southeast. I do not have anyone signed up to speak in this public hearing, but I will open the public hearing and invite anybody to the podium that wishes to speak on this matter. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. And council, we have, and I'm going to turn this over to Valerie for the legal part of that. Is this a two-part thing we need to vote on? We just need to vote on the one. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to adopt a resolution on the closing of the right-of-way of two unopened areas at the intersection of Hermitage Drive Southeast and Winfield Boulevard Southeast.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up, we have a public hearing to consider adopting an ordinance annexing plus or minus 13.4 acres at 7201 Trail Road, PIN number 4691-41-2998, owned by CalMat Corporation. Also 7205 Trail Road, owned by Vulcan Lands Incorporated, and 508 Cessna Road, owned by Gerald and Kimberly Henson. At this time, I will open the public hearing. And first we have signed up to speak is Denise Hallett.
I could yield to Suzanne Todd first.
Absolutely. I saw some little arrows after I said that I think directed me to do that. Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor Morris, members of council. My name is Suzanne Todd. I'm a land use attorney, Johnson, Nelson, Horton, Charlotte. And I'm here today on behalf of Vulcan Materials Company and the annexation requested for the about 14 and a half acres. The properties are contiguous. All of the property owners did, in fact, sign the annexation application. I want to introduce Denise Hallett. She is the manager of Community and Government Relations for Vulcan Materials, as well as key members of the leadership team are here tonight too on behalf of Vulcan. So I'm going to turn it over to her to just give you a quick presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. Okay, good evening, Mayor Morris and honorable council members. Thank you all for providing me with a little bit of time to speak about Vulcan's annexation and the request we have for you today. As you all may know, Cabarrus Quarry has been a proud member of the local community for the past 4 decades. The Cabarrus Quarry team works very hard to be a good neighbor, and this is exemplified by our strong relationships with local businesses and organizations in the community. What we do is provide high-quality construction materials that maintain the regional's critical infrastructure. And we take pride in that, as well as supporting schools, first responders, and nonprofits across Cabarrus County for these past 40 years. Ultimately, Vulcan strives to be protective of people, property, and the environment. Our Cabarrus Quarry consistently meets or exceeds local, state, and federal regulations. And simply put, our Cabarrus Quarry, we do the things the right way, the right time, and for the right reason. We call that the Vulcan way. So to continue our efforts in the community, we filed an application to annex 3 parcels of land that Suzanne mentioned earlier. All 3 of these parcels will be contiguous to city limits and will have no impact on city utilities, services, or infrastructure. The annexation area will not require water, electricity, sewage, trash pickup, or construction of new roads. And it will also have no impact on local schools. Our goal for this annexation is that it become part of an overall 142-acre overburden extension in the future. And for your awareness, overburden is the natural earthen material above and around the hard rock that we mine. Once it's removed, it's typically stored on site or hauled away. Our overburden, most of it, is currently stored on site, and we're working on a proposal to extend the existing overburden area. The proposed overburden extension will not increase production or market demand and will actually keep thousands of trucks off the road by keeping the storage on site. Activating this adjacent land also does not introduce other permitted uses, such as warehouse and distribution, that could operate in perpetuity. The extension area also will not have any structures or permanent lighting, and we will extend the vegetated berms that currently screen our site today. We expect that the overburden will be filled in periodically in the period of about 10 to 15 years, and the end result will be a fully vegetated natural area. So this annexation is the first step in the process for us. We also filed a rezoning application along with our annexation application to rezone the 142 acres to Industrial 2. And we aim to go in front of the Planning Commission in their February meeting for that. So because our proposal is only for overburden extension, drilling and blasting will not occur in the extension area. And to ensure that, we will apply for a special use permit that will limit our use of the acreage to just overburden storage. Because our operation is regulated by state and federal agencies, we'll also be adding this extension property to our existing mining permit for the overburden storage. That controls and regulates all the adherences that we have today and would then continue onto this new property. The annexation request brought forward today is not only important to us, but it's also in terms of our neighbors so that they understand our larger project proposal in the future. I want to thank you again for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about this project tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I do not have anyone else signed up to speak for or against this project, but I will offer that opportunity at this time if there's anyone that did not sign up. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing. Council, you've heard the comments in the public hearing and the discussion that we had on Tuesday night. Are there any questions or further discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to adopt the annexation ordinance as set out previously and set an effective date for January 8th, 2026.
I'll make that motion, sir, that we accept.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you. We now will conduct a public hearing to consider adopting an ordinance amending Article 3, zoning amendments and hearing procedures, Article 5, subdivision plats, site plans, and construction documents, and Article 14, definitions of the Concord Development Ordinance. So at this time, I will open the public hearing. I do not have anyone signed up to speak for or against this item. Is there anybody that failed to sign up that would like to speak? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Council, you heard the discussions and the explanation that we had on this item as well on Tuesday night. Or is there any further discussion or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
This one does have steps.
This one does have.
This one does have
Yes, so
steps.
I'll let you explain that
Yes,
part for us.
because this is a zoning regulation, there are statutory steps that have to be followed. The first thing that you would need to consider is your suggested statement of reasonableness and consistency. That is on your screens in front of you. You will see 3 bullet points. The first 2 bullet points that are in blue were adopted unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Commission and would tend to support approval. If you are leaning towards not approving these changes, then you would substitute the second bullet point and the third bullet point.
I may be a little bit confused.
Okay, so the first 2 bullet points.
If we're for it, we take the first
The
2.
first
And
2.
the third,
If you're against.
If we're
If you're against,
gotcha.
you would take the first and the third. So you would substitute the third for the
Gotcha.
second.
Now I understand. I'm slow, but I'll get there.
Right on.
Eventually. Okay, council members, are there any questions? So do I hear a motion that we approve the proposal as submitted? Great. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
And the second step to this is to approve or deny the proposed amendments.
Okay. Which Jennifer stated it correctly the first time, and I did not.
No, this is the second part to it.
Right, yeah.
Right, the first thing, what you
I
just did
think I
was
was skipping the first part.
your statement of consistency.
Right.
Right, so that's, you're saying this is consistent with the things that we already have in place, the land use plan and so on, and that it's reasonable and in the interest of the public, so you're doing those things. And the second step is to actually adopt the changes that were presented.
Okay, do we need that in 2 separate motions?
Yes, sir, that's always gonna be
Okay.
2 separate motions.
We're really gonna work this one out.
So we did the first one already, thank you.
Okay,
And now we need a motion to approve or deny the proposed amendments.
all right. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the amendments. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Moving now to the next item. We heard on Tuesday night to consider authorizing the city manager to execute a contract between the Concord ABC Board and the City of Concord Police Department. Is there anything to add at this time?
No, Mr. Mayor, I mean, council heard the presentation and answered some questions. Chief Hughes was up and provided that explanation. This is updating the contract from 1996. And in return, you see for the $200,000 a year with an escalator of 5% a year, the Concord Police Department would provide those services for the ABC board. We would hire another officer, and just for the record, these funds are ABC dollars that are from ABC Spirit sales across the county. These are not property tax dollars that would be used to pay for those police officers.
Okay, council members, do you have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a contract between the Concord ABC Board and the City of Concord Police Department.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up, we have consider adopting updated rules and regulations for the Concord Paget Regional Airport. We went through those at length on Tuesday as well. Are there any additional questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the updated rules and regulations for the Concord Paget Regional Airport as presented.
Motion to adopt.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up, we have consider adopting updated general aviation minimum standards to encourage and promote the consistent provisions of high-quality commercial general aviation aeronautical activities available to the public at the Concord Paget Regional Airport. And we, once again, talked about those on Tuesday night. Any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the updated general aviation minimum standards for the Concord Paget Regional Airport. Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is consider authorizing the city manager to execute a change order in order number 1, apron and taxi lane rehabilitation at the airport. Once again, we talked about that Tuesday night as well. Are there any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to execute the change order number 1 in the amount of $116,560 with an additional 15 days and to approve the budget amendment which is attached. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say no. That motion passes. Next up is consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a professional service agreement with the Wilson Group Architects, PA. We also talked about this on Tuesday night and the construction of a new hangar at the airport at no expense to the taxpayers. And Dirk is shaking his head yes on the back row back there. I complimented him on that earlier today. But are there any questions on that item? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the recommendation and authorize the city manager to execute a professional services contract with the Wilson Group Architects, PA, in the amount of $852,651.04. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up, item 6 is to consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with J.D. Goodrum Company Incorporated for the construction of the Laurel Park Pump Station elimination. Once again, we talked about that extensively on Tuesday night. Are there any additional questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract with J.D. Goodrum Company Incorporated for $849,899.20 for the Laurel Park Pump Station elimination. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next is item 7. Consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute a change order with Cinderella Partners up to $250,000 and utilize retained earnings to pay for the additional cost. And this is for repairs and renovations at the Rocky River Clubhouse. And we talked about that Tuesday night as well. Any questions? If there are none, then I would entertain a motion to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a change order with Cinderella Partners up to $250,000 and use retained earnings to pay for the cost.
I'll make that motion, Mayor, but I'll also like to say that it's good that we have that retained earnings to use for that, and it's not coming out of taxpayer dollars
Right.
or any of our budgetary type funds. So that's awesome the way they've done that, and it continues to be a great place to go for people outside of our community and our community. So it's a showplace, and let's take care of it like we have and keep it going.
Great. Thank you, sir. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is consider adopting a resolution authorizing an eminent domain action for a parcel located at 145 Hemlock Street Southwest. Once again, we discussed this at length on Tuesday. Does anyone have any questions? Valerie, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, sir.
Great. Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
really quick? So I know we heard earlier about that. Is that something where we would have to take back and discuss, or we're still going to make that motion today?
You're talking about the question during public comment?
Correct.
I think that probably the city manager, and I don't certainly want to speak for him, but probably can provide answers to those questions that were asked. I think as we discussed on Tuesday night regarding neighborhood blight and the fact that these are deteriorating structures and that sort of thing, and there are things in place that will define that, whether that turns out to be a rental property or whether that is a homeowner project through WeBuild. I think all of those are possibilities.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Mr. Mayor, that is to be determined as far as the final disposition of the property. The first step, of course, is acquiring it and stopping the deterioration and the blight in the community. But certainly there are options, whether the city itself, and we do, build homes, renovate homes with federal funds that we receive. We also partner, of course, with WeBuild, and we have provided land to them to build homes, which they have a community land trust that would keep that property affordable in perpetuity. And there's clauses the city would have in place if we do deed restrictions. And then certainly there's also the option of partnering with Habitat. So all of that is to be determined. If the city, if we did not do it internally, the city, then certainly that action would have to come back to council for us to dispose of that land and provide it to WeBuild and/or Habitat or another agency, whether it's for-profit or nonprofit, to build the affordable home. But certainly that is the intent, to keep this property affordable.
It seems to me that we can't answer the questions asked until we actually own the land. And this is the first step in a long process. So I would be in favor of this.
So just to be clear, based on the comment here, so I completely understand the why we want to do this. And I'm also transparent where on Tuesday, I am in support because I know the back process and what it takes. And also, if you don't do it, it can actually be worse, but it's just more for pointing that out to the citizens so that they have that transparency and really understand that if we don't do it, there's still another avenue where someone else can do it and it will be worse. So I just want to make sure that we do point that out, that of course there's nothing concrete and for sure now, but as you stated, Lloyd, there is that intent to make sure that we still do put that in place. Okay.
And I think I'll add to that, what is concrete and in place is the goal of the council. So I would disagree that there's not something concrete and in place, because that was our that was the discussion and even the only reason that we actually took this on. We've never done this before, so this is kind of the first step. I think to Valerie's point on Tuesday night, I think you brought up, Valerie, of that piece of it. So yes, we don't have it in writing yet, but what is concrete is that piece of it. And the city has, to your point, deed restrictions and mechanisms in place that it does guarantee that it stays in affordability from a perpetuity perspective, because that was the only reason this council took on even the consideration of doing it. So I hope that gives you clarity. I think we talked a little bit about that on Tuesday night, but good to expand on that.
John?
Yeah, and for maybe the citizens that may not know, and maybe even staff, I'm not sure, Lloyd, our city manager, is very good about follow-up as far as that. So questions we have from the public, as we read, as Mayor Morris read beforehand, doesn't go like, okay, we'll decide it, thanks, we raise our hand in the back room somewhere by conversation. It actually goes out to where it's public knowledge, it's very transparent, and he gets back with the people that have questions. Even though as that came up with me, and we pretty much answered that question already. I want to speak for Lloyd, but he is good about getting back and make sure we have transparency with our citizens. So,
Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing an eminent domain action for a parcel located at 145 Hemlock Street Southwest.
So moved.
Okay, we have motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next up is item number 9, which is the same situation. Authorize a resolution authorizing a eminent domain action for a parcel located at 75 Young Street Southwest. Once again, we talked about that on Tuesday night, same predicament as the other parcel we just talked about. Are there any questions?
No question, just a correction. I guess we all overlooked it. So under number 9, the address that in question or in subject matter is 75 Young, but in the recommendation, it has 145.
You
It should be 75.
Typographical error, it should be 75.
75
Cut
Young
and
should
paste
be in the actual motion. Thank you, Betty. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing an eminent domain for a parcel located at 145, 75 Young Street Southwest.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion and a couple of seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move to item number 10, which is the 2026 state legislative goals. We talked about those Tuesday night as well. I'll turn it over to the city manager for any additional comments on that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we did talk about it on Tuesday night. Of course, council has seen the draft of this a couple different times, provided input to me, which I've included in the document. And as you stated, Mr. Mayor, on Tuesday night, not only providing this to our legislative delegation in Raleigh, but also other entities locally that require or request rather a copy of our legislative goals. For example, the chamber each year wants that so they can put it as part of their advocacy goals. And so I would provide that to the chamber as well. So I'd be happy to answer any questions council may have, but it would be the intent that we share this with our legislative delegation, meet with them if they are available to discuss it, and any concerns they may have with anything contained within the document.
Thank you, sir. And, you know, I will say that this is what we'll use kind of as our guideline as we interact with folks throughout the year, all of us. I think that certainly at any time during the year, there may arise additional items that we might want to add. So it's certainly something that we can go back and take a look at later on as well. Are there any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to adopt the 2026 state legislative goals as presented. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Next, we move to our consent agenda. As is normal, we have a number of items within our consent agenda of a fairly routine manner. And so at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Mr. Mayor, if I can speak before the.
Yes, sir.
I want to continue to say, looking through this, there's a ton of grants and better things for the city that are included. So as the staff is here, I want to say thank you on behalf of the whole council. You continue to go out and look for grants, and sometimes it's a special airport. Dirk's a good job on that. But we look for grants, look for ways to pay for things to better our city and better what we have for our citizens inside and out. And I'm really impressed with that continually in the consent agenda, that we are taking that initiative. As a group, you're taking that. So thank you.
Appreciate those comments.
Thank you, Mayor.
Very valid. Any others? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any additional comments or discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We move next to matters not on the agenda. First up is a report from our Transportation Advisory Committee. LJ, do you have anything? That's not LJ, that's the other one. Philip. I'll get it straight one day.
Good evening, Mayor.
Maybe.
The Transportation Advisory Committee did not meet in December. They will resume their meetings later this month in January.
Great. Thank you, sir. Okay, next up is Metropolitan Transit Committee. Now I got the right guy up here.
Put all the T's up front. Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Jenkins. The MTC did not meet in December. However, the new Regional Public Transit Authority did have their first meeting on December 12th and elected officers. And that's sort of a flowing process, as I mentioned last month, that we're continuing to monitor. The MTC will meet in January because as they're transitioning legally, kind of both boards are meeting. So I'm assuming each month there'll hopefully be new things to learn. Lloyd may learn things, I may learn things through other channels as they kind of evolve, and we'll see if we have a role in the new organization or if it'll be sort of a listen-only mode, and if that's changed from kind of the last 20-year structure. So we'll keep you posted on that front.
Great, thank you. Next up, Concord Kannapolis Transit Commission.
So we were scheduled to meet in December originally and in theory present to you at the work session about our new service provider contract. We are still in the midst of ongoing negotiations for best and final offers, and I've actually expanded that to all 4 finalists in an effort to try to leverage the best combination of skill and practice and price. So we anticipate having that concluded by the end of this month and then having everything come before you next month. But I won't promise it now.
Okay.
But we do need to have that settled by April, so we'll be here shortly.
Great, thank you.
Sir?
Okay, Central Iowa Regional Council.
No reports.
Okay, Water and Sewer Authority of Cabarrus County.
We did not meet in December. We meet next week, so I'll have a report next month.
Great, thank you. We Build Concord.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Jenkins, and of course, Mr. Payne. I don't have a report today. All is the same as it was last month. This came quick since the first Thursday was the first. But I do want to share some. I get notes all the time. I get the privilege of going to every closing and being able to touch people. But I'm just share a quick little small note with you. This is not one of the longer ones that I usually get. It just says really simply, Dear Dr. Graham, I want to thank you and WeBuild for supporting my friend Larissa with her home ownership journey. You all are so kind and down to earth. I attended her closing and will never forget your words to her, you are supposed to be here. I also appreciated the story you shared about your mother. It inspired me to also want more for myself. You said other people like the city were involved. That's you. I thank them too. It is a great program. You will see me again. Again, thank you all for making her dreams come true to own a home. Sincerely, Renetta Smith. Larissa is the first Community Land Trust homeowner at Lincoln Street Townhomes, ensuring, to my brother, 99 years of affordability. So many of us won't be here for that. And so I'll just leave you with what I always tell folks. What happens after 99 years? So you'll figure it out.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Public Art Commission. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Before I get started, I want to recognize and thank Claret in the IT department. He recently moved all our shared folders to SharePoint, which helped us improve our ability to talk and share information with each other in the commission. Okay, as far as projects, for our bus wrap project, a call for artist submissions was released on Monday and has been publicized on social media and with other regional art agencies. So hopefully we'll get a lot of response from that. And we've gathered installation cost estimates from some vinyl wrap vendors, and a finalist for that job will be selected in the next few weeks. Next steps for this project are to gather up the artists' entries that we receive and convene an art selection panel to determine the winners for that project. Next project is the Signal Box project. The NCDOT has been contacted and they've given us parameters to follow for approving installation on art on state-owned signal boxes. So that's on the way. Vinyl wrap vendors have also been contacted for that project. And the next steps for that one are to determine the best box locations for the art and release a call for artist submissions. For the downtown streetscape sculptures, all 4 current artists have submitted agreements and invoices to extend the display of their art to March 2027. So the ones that are there now will be there for another year plus a few months. For the ongoing mural grant program, we're looking for proposals for our upcoming grant cycle. So this is like a shameless plug for if you know anybody an artist or a property owner that would like a mural, please let us know. And proposals are due February 1st for this cycle. And then finally, we've been working on our annual work plan for the upcoming fiscal year and should have something to present to y'all sometime soon. And that's all, unless there's any questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, next up is Concord United Committee.
Mr. Mayor, we were told that they were coming tonight to provide their annual report. I don't see any of their co-chairs here to provide that report. We'll follow up with them and see if they something occurred perhaps, and maybe
Right.
they'll come next month.
All righty, thank you. Okay, we move now to general comments by council members. If anyone has anything they would like to discuss or share. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I just want to say it's been a blessing, I guess, to see three men stand up here from a retirement perspective, and every one of them talked about how good this city's been to them and their families. And that just is not, that is not something that I take lightly. So I just want to say we're in the business and we're doing government and we're doing all these things, but we're a family here, and I just really appreciate seeing that this city has changed people's lives and that they get to walk out of that door with a retirement. So I just kind of wanted to end on that.
Thank you. That is an excellent note to end on. I will mention that Councilman Crawford is not with us tonight because he is on vacation. So sometimes people wonder if somebody's ill, but he's doing fun things. So we wish him well also. Any other general comments? Okay, hearing none, we do not have need of a closed session tonight. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay. And there is a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you.